What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Evolutions. Today, we're driving my friend Darius's 2019 Honda Civic Sport. Yeah, it's everybody asking. I do not like Honda, so that's why I decided to at least give it a try and see what it was like. It's actually not that bad, I guess. I wouldn't buy it for myself personally, but as far as what the car is meant to do, it does it really well, and I will give it that for sure. The car has no power, like, at all. It's not, obviously, it's a 2-liter inline-4, only has about 158 horsepower and about 128 to 130 pound-feet of torque, which isn't a lot whatsoever. But the one good thing about this car is the gas mileage. At about 40 miles an hour or so, it gets around about 50 miles a gallon, and I'm really watching it on the dashboard, and I'm like, that's crazy. And I'm not even going downhill. It's actually just straight line 40 mile an hour just cruising, and that's what I love about it. Obviously, me having, the Camaro and the Volvo, both of them are V8s. I don't get anywhere near that kind of gas much, so I am jealous of Darius, him getting 40 miles a gallon or more, really. So that is the good thing I do like about it. Another thing I like about it is the fact that there's so much technology packed in this car. This car, brand new, isn't that expensive at all. And for the amount of features that you get for it, it's absolutely astonishing. The car will literally drive itself, and I mean, it has lane keep assist. It has lane departure warning. It has the adaptive cruise control. It has the adaptive braking. I mean, this car literally it will drive itself. And to me, that's pretty awesome. For you to buy a car that's, $25,000 and it drives you around places. Obviously, it's not, the full-on autopilot from Tesla. It's still a very entry-level, rudimentary system, basically. But even so, for that kind of money, I honestly have no complaints about it whatsoever. This car, honestly, to me, in the back seat is a little bit bigger than the Volvo as well. I actually fit in the back seat, and in my position that I have in the front seat, I fit back there, and that says a lot. Now, like I was saying earlier, this car, the 2019 Honda Civic, is, in my opinion, just like any other car out there for the most part. Like I said, it does offer a lot of features that most cars don't offer still. I know one of the biggest competitors of this car, which is, I believe, the Toyota Corolla, doesn't offer anywhere near this car what it can offer. And I mean, that's saying a lot. As we all know, Hondas have positive and negative connotations of the brand. People in the car seem to have Hondas, rice burner, stuff like that. But Hondas have a lot of positive feedback too. Hondas will last forever. And one of my old teachers in high school had a 1999 Honda Civic, and I think it had like 397,000 miles on it. On the original motor, the original transmission, and everything. Now that's pretty good. I mean, that's honestly a lot better than what most new cars will do today. Now, obviously, I hear that newer Hondas, they're not as reliable as the old ones are, and there's some evidence of that. I know Darius has had this car for almost 2 years now, and he's had a few problems here and there. Nothing major at all. Nothing, the motor didn't blow, the transmission didn't blow up at all or anything like that. It's just some minor quirks here and there that it's had, but nothing too big. It was all covered under warranty too, so it's still a reliable, decent car. Well, when Honda was building this car, you can sort of tell they tried to add a little sportiness into it. The suspension compared to a regular stock, base model Honda is slightly stiffer, and surprisingly, this car can handle itself around a corner surprisingly well. There's not much body roll in it at all. It's just it's pretty good. And I understand why a lot of people will, you know, gut the interior, you know, strip it out, add a gigantic turbo to it, and take it to a track and see what it can do. And autocross it as well too. And that's because this car handles like a dream, especially for a front-wheel drive car. Now again, there's no power to the car either, which explains a lot of it why it doesn't have that power steering problem at all, as far as, you know, when you floor the car and all of a sudden the car just veer to the right or to the left. That doesn't happen because, again, the car doesn't have any power to it. And I know the Type R doesn't have a lot of problems as far as, you know, it wanting to veer to the right or left from the power it has. I have yet to drive a Type R. I would love to drive a Type R. This is just to compare it to this one and to an SI, and see if Type R is really worth it. If you can build an SI or a Sport to be faster in both a straight line and around a track, faster than you can a Type R. And I would be honestly very curious to see how that would come out. But at the same time, still, this car is a great daily driver. Darius drives it all year round. He has 16,000 miles on it right now, and he, like I said, he drives it from Michigan, Columbus, obviously, which is where we both live. I think he drove it to Texas 1 or 2 times too. Don't quote me on that, but I do believe he did. But yeah, it's something that pretty shocking, to be honest with you. So now, talking back about the sportiness of it, these seats are surprisingly, like, bolstered. I was actually very shocked when I sat down in it for the first time. You know, I'm 6'4", you know, 280 pounds. I don't care if you guys know that or not. But these seats actually hold me in, and it honestly reminds me very much of my 2004 Saturn Ion Redline seats that I used to have when I had my Redline, and they hold you in very well. Like, you can go around a corner and it doesn't, you know, swish you around at all. It keeps you held in surprisingly well. And that's another thing that I like about the Hondas too, is that for what it is and for what kind of car that it basically offers you, this is actually a great all-around car. And again, like I said before, if you want to take it on a track, you know, modify a little bit, take it on a track and go out and hurt some feelings, not a lot, but some feelings, this is a great base platform to start with. So still on the topic of, you know, sportiness, the steering wheel, like the steering response in this car is absolutely incredible. You can tell exactly where the wheels are and exactly the angle you're trying to go at and everything else. And that's another reason as to why I feel like this car is more of, like, you know, they restrained a lot of it back. You can see some Type R-iness in it. But yeah, this is a great handling car in my opinion. And like I said, me doing just this little tiny movement of steering wheel, this thing is stuck to the ground. And again, like I said, I do want to drive a Type R just to compare it to this and see if there's any much of a difference, especially for the price difference of both the cars. But for what this car is and what this car costs, I actually like it. And going back to it too, it's surprisingly better than my Camaro is, as far as like the steering response of it. And I like that. Again, you know, the Camaro and the Volvo are both, you know, this V8 cars, and the Camaros that haven't set up for the track, but this came from the factory like this. Like, Darius has no modifications to this whatsoever, and that's surprisingly, like, interesting to me, because to see this car, to see such a inexpensive to a certain extent car come like this, that's pretty good for all around driving, that's really good. And I give major props to Honda for that. So to me, Honda, the Civic especially, and the Accord too, Honda's lineup basically has improved so much over just the past 10 years alone. And back in the early to mid 2000s, they were such a boring brand, and that's honestly why I didn't like them that much. It was just, minus the negative connotation of, you know, the car scene, you know, everybody that has a Honda ride style, you know, Fast and Furious wannabe rear wing and everything else, I didn't like them because it was such a boring car to me. And the way they looked, the way they drove, the interior was all boring. And they've really stepped their game up, and that says a lot. And now obviously in this one, you know, there's plastic here and there and everywhere basically, but to me, I really don't care that much, because depending on what kind of car you're trying to make, having plastic bits, it's fine. Again, the reason why this car is so cheap and they stay cheap is because obviously there's going to be some plastic bits here and there. That's just me. Like I said, I'm not really big on, you know, cars having plastic in there or not. But yeah, but again, Honda has really stepped their game up over the last 10 years. And to see all the features that this car has, to see how it drives, to see how, basically, especially the exterior look of it, I would have never guessed it was a Honda if I knew nothing about cars. And obviously if it didn't have the big H on the front and back. And that's a really good thing. And that's the same with a lot of new cars now, like Kia, Hyundai, stuff like that. The cheaper made cars are starting to look a lot more high-end and drive a lot more high-end than what the price tag shows. And I absolutely love that. So yeah, guys, we're trying to get a more of a schedule around our uploads. I know for the past couple of weeks we've been uploading basically willy-nilly. We want to be more professional, you know, upload on certain times at certain days. So we really are looking at probably uploading every Wednesday and Sunday, or every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just so that way there's content, you know, you guys can see our content we put out. But yeah, besides that, thanks for watching our 2019 Honda Civic Sport review. Like I said, we'll be uploading on a more regular basis. But yeah, so just like that, this review is over. See ya.